Just, didn't do a very good job of coming out at halftime. Felt like the third quarter we just did, things that winning teams can't do on the road. You got to do a better job of coming out of the locker room, communicating. Really had a hard time with, some cramping issues and things like that. And we just got to play better, in the third quarter. We just didn't play really good complementary football. Offensively, we weren't getting it out of our end, and defensively, we weren't doing a good job of making teams drive it. I did think, that we did a good job of really, keeping them off balance offensively. There's a lot more plays there yet, too, as well, that I feel like, if we throw it and catch it better and get it to the guy on the right peck and the guy turns into the ball, it can get up the field, that there's a lot more yards there yet to be able to get. I did think we ran the football well, especially inside the red zone. It was good to see to score. Running the football, I think, is something that's important to us. And then defensively, we just got to do a better job against an athletic quarterback. I think the scramble at the end of the game, we're kind of calling it to try to make sure that he can't scramble and he beats us from the pocket and he gets out there. And that's something that we got to continue to work on, is develop some rushers up front, guys that we feel can go rush there as a group and be able to end a football game bringing four instead of always having to bring pressure. But hats off to K-State, Coach Kleiman. I think, when they really needed something at the end of the game, they put together a drive to be able to win the football game. So congrats to them. And we it's the response. That's what we've talked about with our guys now is, hey, how are you going to respond to some adversity now in your life and get ready for Portland State next Saturday?
Questions for the players? Jerry, you're kind of all the debut. How did you feel it went? How would you kind of assess your day?
Yeah, there were ups and downs. The biggest thing I look back is that fumble in the red zone. Just can't have that. You look at that, we were in points there. We had 3 at least. So I look back, that's a huge turning point in the game. A point where we could have got points and maybe had a chance here at the end to do something else. I thought our O-line played great. Receivers made a great job catching the ball. Like Coach said, we did a great job running the ball. But we're not taking any moral victories from this. We came here to do one thing, and that was win, and we didn't get that. We didn't get that done. So it's on to the next week now.
What got harder in the second half? If things were clicking well, and then that third quarter had a couple tough 3-and-outs. What got harder?
Yeah, I think it was just us beating ourselves a little bit there. But the thing I was proud of with our team is we didn't give up. We didn't doubt ourselves. We kept our confidence all the way through. And that goes all the way back through the summer training. Coach Schmidt talks a ton about the year-long calendar, and that goes back to those extra drills we were doing. Extra is the standard here, so it's important in those summer trainings, winter trainings, that you do it with your brothers, and I think that's the most important, because when things get tough, we got to the sideline and nobody flinched. Defensive guys were coming up to offensive guys talking to defensive guys. Nobody flinched, so I'm really proud of the team for that.
Jerry, there are a lot of people coming into this game not knowing what to expect out of North Dakota. You got to be pretty happy, though, with a statement like that in your guys' first game with so much newness this year.
Yeah, I think it just proves what in this facility that we already knew. We can play with anyone in the country. We can beat anyone in the country. So it's just exciting for that reason. But, like I said, you're bummed. You come here to get a win, and you fall just short. It's frustrating.
Malachi, I want to ask you the same question. I want to say it's good to see that you guys are frustrated that you lose to one of the top 25 teams in the country, but that really sets the standard of what this program is now.
I'm not happy at all. Like when you said that it has to be good to come out there and show the statement that we made. I don't think we made a statement yet because we didn't win the ball game. And I think it just alludes to what Coach Schmidt said. Just got to play better in the third, collectively, everybody, and including myself. And so I think that just about the response, everybody get back in the locker room, get back in the film room, and really take a look at what went wrong here and really get back on the same page, man, so we can really go get a W, because I think that this should be the worst we play all year. That's just how I feel about it, and I think that we'll be really good throughout this season. Just got to get the communication right and everybody playing on the same page.
What is your biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway is I loved how the guys fought today. I loved how we never were out of it. I loved how the leaders kind of kept each other up. And, even Coach Schmidt, he's coming over there, he's coaching us, and he's getting us right. So, I love that part of it. And I just think that, yeah, we fought, but it just wasn't enough. And so, yeah, I'm pretty upset about it right now. But I think that, like I said, I feel like this should be the worst we play all year. And so I think that we can learn from this, take it away, and go have a hell of a response for it.
Malachi, you've been a part of other FBS games, and in the past, I think North Dakota has struggled to kind of punch back in that second half. They've been close. Nebraska was 7-7 at halftime. I think North Dakota's kind of had a hard time punching back. And today, obviously, there was some punch back. Why was that? Like, did you get it? Did it feel any different to you?
I mean, if you want me to be completely honest with you, it's Coach right here. He instills that belief in us, and we feel like we can go beat anybody, you know. Coach he's a tremendous coach. He's here for us. He gives us a great game plan, and, you know, and the speech he gave us before we went out there, he just basically said, like, we ain't here to just be here. Like, we here to go win a football game. We ain't here to just take pictures and be like, oh, and absorb the atmosphere. We're here to go win a football game. And so when you got a guy like that truly believes in you, it instills belief in yourself. And so I think that's what made us all want to go fight for him, go get him his first win as a head coach.
Anything else for the players? Thanks, Jerry. Thanks, Malachi. We'll continue with questions for Coach.
Is it a weird feeling, kind of like there's got to be some things you're really encouraged about, yet it also has to sting to have it go the way it can?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're looking for breakthrough moments, right? Like, that's what we had an opportunity to have, a breakthrough moment, and you know, I mean, we just didn't quite get there. Now, I mean, it's hard. Like, let's be honest. Like, it takes a lot of work. It takes 4 quarters of football, and we didn't play 4 quarters of football today. You know, and I think there's some things that we got to continue to make sure that we correct in our program and our culture. Just continue to just stay on these guys, because I do think, like, and I've said this before, you know, a lot of times, I think we got some guys that are later on in their career right now that are going to have the best years of their careers off of it, just because of the training and the work that they've been able to do. I've just seen it and I believe in it. I know, you know, I feel really confident in how we're developing players here off of it to be able for them to be able to become the best version of themselves. But yeah, man, I mean, you're in the advantage position there, especially late. Like, you know, the heat's on them, and you know, I thought we really did a good job, especially, you know, later on in the third. There was I don't remember where they got the ball close to midfield, up 10, and I was like, hey, we have to stop them here. And our defense went out and got a 3 and out, and I thought the entire game came back to our sideline after that. And I thought it was a big stop. And then offensively, we got rolling again, and you know, obviously took the lead there late. And then I mean, a lot of it comes down to who had the ball last, right? Like, they had an opportunity to be able to score there. We were going to start using timeouts if they wouldn't have scored on that play, you know, just to make sure our offense had enough time. But we need a breakthrough moment, right? Like, that's what it comes, you know, what we need to have. That's the next step here in the program. But I'm proud of the guys, man. Like, they came in here with a ton of belief, right? And I think that's, at the end of the day, we're going to teach them a lot about tackling and blocking and, you know, throwing and catching. But the number one thing that we can teach these guys is belief and confidence, and that's what we got to continue to instill in them.
What are you going to remember most from today?
I mean, it's probably what you won't forget, right? Like, you're going to go back over it in your mind all the time at the end, and you're calling games at the end. And, hey, do you do things differently? You know, I think that's the one thing you really try to figure out early in the season, and I think that's the art of coaching is what type of team are you? And are our guys better if we're calling it when they can play on their toes and play downhill and be the aggressor? And just where is that, you know, that risk-reward factor as far as, you know, making those decisions. So, you know, I think that was the biggest thing. I just coming out of halftime, you know, I just felt like, hey, like we were really good at halftime. There was obviously a lot of, you know, confidence and a lot of energy in the locker room. But to go back out there and to know you're getting the ball in the second half and to be able to go up 2 scores would have been huge. And I just thought, you know, we had a little adversity there, and it took us too long to be able to respond to that adversity. So I just think little things like that. The other thing I was encouraged by, like, thought our receivers really played well tonight. I thought they were a handful. I mean, you see a lot of guys. You know, Nate comes in, catches a big pass at the tight end position. There's a lot of young guys, you know what I mean, playing out there. So just encouraged as far as the development of those guys and those guys being able now to, you can see it that, hey, they can be players that are winning players, you know, at this level. So excited to continue to see those guys develop here.
You got to be pretty proud, too. Like I was talking about with Malachi. Tough environment, obviously, to come in, not the outcome you wanted, but you impressed a lot of people tonight, I think.
I mean, there was a lot of people, like, you know, like, are you nervous? I mean, I really felt good, man. We, you know, day after day after day, putting in real work and just giving the guys real confidence. I just really felt like, we would come in here and play well. I really felt that way. I knew Jerry was going to do good things. Javance comes in and puts it on, Corey Ty, right away. We have a lot of guys that we just have to keep coaching them and keep, pouring into them and getting them better. But this means nothing, if we don't continue to get better throughout the season. It'll instill some confidence in guys, but to me, it's all about the response now. Like, how do we respond to this? Do we respond it like even more starving? Do we respond that, it's even, it gives us some confidence, but yet there's a burn inside of you that, hey, if I would have did this or that better, that, hey, I could have had a different outcome because, 30 years from now, it's not going to be like, hey, we beat K-State. It's going to be, that we were close to beating K-State. But can that be there's learning that needs to take place in order for you to be able to be a champion. And I think there's got to be some adversity in order for you to be a champion too as well. So I'm excited to see how our guys respond here moving forward.
Anything else for Coach?
What do you think of Corey Tyler?
Yeah, I thought, really good in a lot of areas. Made some tough catches in traffic. I thought Isaac did a great job. I thought all the shift trade motion stuff, like he had them on their heels, for a long time there. I really thought there was a lot more stuff out there yet, just watching, just some of the early stuff as far as, putting it, like I said, on the right shoulder, on the right pec, so a guy in space can be able to turn upfield. You look at late in the game, we threw a bubble off of it and we threw it behind. Corey gets tackled for a loss because he's got to stop and start, now. But I was encouraged. I think a lot of guys, B.J. Fleming, getting the PI late, just, hey, like he's a guy that can vertically stretch it down the field. I think our tight ends, throwing it to our tight ends, using our tight ends, I think those guys can be weapons, and our best tight end didn't even play tonight, So I'm excited about that. And then defensively, I thought there was some signs, like there was definitely some things where they struggled to run the football for a lot of the night off it. I thought we hit the quarterback. I mean, we dropped 5 picks tonight. Really, I don't know how many. I feel like it was 5. That their one touchdown's a pick. That bounces right to him. Early on, he's throwing a couple to us. So you got to make those plays. I think a quarterback's entire mental psyche is different when he looks up and it says 2 or 3 or 4 interceptions. When you don't have those plays, then he's probably more likely to throw a few more in there yet and feel confident. So we just got to, when they throw them to you, you got to be able to catch them, and we got to become better as far as being able to be able to take the ball away on defense.